Hey everyone, I'm Drew.
And I'm Delco.
Welcome to the D&D show. So as we said in our last video, we were going to talk about Matthew 24, seeing as how we've actually mentioned it several times before in some of our previous videos. So um, we just feel there's a lot of pertinent information.
Mm-hmm.
We've been talking about complacency and things like that, and this really all just ties in together because well, when you read through it, you kind of understand why. But I guess one thing we don't want to be, or maybe sound like, we're not trying to be some sort of alarmist. We're not trying to be like doom and gloom. We're just trying to make everybody more aware of what's going on. If you're not paying attention to what's going on around the world and things like that, you will get caught off guard. And we're just trying to do our best to make sure everybody's ready when when things start unfolding and when the time comes to get on out of here. So, um, with that, anything? What do you want to say?
um, but it is our job to tell of God's word. So that is one of the main things that we're going to try and focus on. So we definitely are not trying to be, I don't know, scare people into what's about to come, but it is to come to pass. So that's why it's important to have a relationship with God. And with that, we're going to start off here with Matthew 24, verse 1.
All right, and I'm reading from the NLT in this passage. And Jesus is with the disciples, and it says, Jesus was leaving the temple grounds. His disciples pointed out to him the various temple buildings. But he responded, "Do you see all these buildings? I tell you the truth, they will be completely demolished. Not one stone will be left on top of another." Later, Jesus sat on the Mount of Olives. His disciples came to him privately and said, "Tell us, when will all this happen? What sign will signal your return and the end of the world?" Jesus told them, "Don't let anyone mislead you, for many will come in my name, claiming I am the Messiah. They will deceive many." I think we can talk about that just for a second.
Mm-hmm.
That depends on who you listen to, but I know there's one person in particular that seems to come up every once in a while, and that's the Pope. There's a lot of controversy surrounding the Pope. And his stance on, I've heard things like he claims that he has the authority to change scripture and stuff like that.
And change the laws, and he's saying that he is saying that he is God on earth, and there's only one God, and that's just a prime example of what's to come and what's been going on for a long time. But as we read further, we're gonna see like the different earthquakes and stuff like that that are happening around the world as we move on down into the scripture.
And it says actually in verse 6, you will hear of wars and threats of wars, but don't panic. Yes, these things must take place, but the end won't follow immediately. I mean, if you turn on the news, which I don't really spend much time watching the news, but we've got the issue with North Korea, South Korea, all these people that threaten to launch their nuclear attacks and everything else. I mean, it's out there, and I don't know. To me, it's kind of exciting.
Mm-hmm.
For some people, they get nervous or they get mad or whatever. Whatever. But for me, I mean, we knew all this was coming, and it should be no surprise. So it's kind of exciting to me to watch all this unfold. So we can just be ready.
So, and then with that, the excitement comes with your relationship with God and knowing that God is soon to come. But at the same time, it is going to be a sorrowful time for those that aren't ready for his soon return, and what's going to come upon those that deny him and want no relationship with him. So the excitement comes with the relationship, and the sadness comes as well with those that won't be ready.
Definitely. It says, yes, these things must take place, but the end won't follow immediately. Nation will go to war against nation, kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines and earthquakes in many parts of the world. And again, just we got talking about that for a minute a little while ago. And if you look, I mean, just in the past 24 hours, there's been 14 earthquakes. 4.5 plus on the magnitude scale or whatever. But I mean, it's out there, it's happening. It's just something to kind of keep an eye on and pay attention to. And it goes on to say, but all this is only the first of the birth pains, with more to come. So it's gonna get bad. I know there are some out there that think that we're going to be raptured out of here or taken out of here before, the stuff hits the fan. Then we'll save that for another discussion. But I think we're going to go there, just because I think it's pretty important. Because when you continue on through the rest of this chapter, I don't see anywhere where it says we're going to be rescued out of anything. Granted, he's talking to his disciples right here, but if we're going to claim part of it as prophecy as far as the end of the world, I think we should claim the whole thing, just in my opinion.
Amen.
And read it all for what it is. So,
so with that, real quick, I'm going to just jump across. It said that this is the beginning of the birth pain. So like, it's almost like a pregnancy with a woman. And when she's having her contractions, that it is really strong and it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. So like in this instance, like the birth pain starts and the contractions start, and then it gets stronger, and then it calms down for a second, and then it hits again. So then it's gonna go on. It's gonna hit again, and then something else is gonna happen. Like, it's not just gonna be earthquakes. It's gonna be famine and stuff like that. So that's just the beginning. So if you think about it like as in a pregnancy, it's going to hit real hard, and then it's going to subside, and it's going to hit even harder. So it's going to get to a point where it's going to be the last hit, as far as in like it being finished. As we move forward, I just want to throw that out there because it just was in my mind. Like, me and Drew were talking, I'm just like, that's just like, like a woman having a baby, but like it's what's about to come upon this earth, though. So I just thought that was pretty important to bring up.
That was a great point. I think we're going to stop, because then it gets into some other good stuff, and we'll save that for the next one.
Yep.
I'm trying to keep these a little shorter, and so we can keep them going. But just something to think about, again, as we've been talking about complacency. And again, this isn't to judge anyone. This isn't the doom and gloom. But we just do it because we care. And this is just what God's put on our hearts to share with you guys. And, again, we welcome your feedback, your comments. Feel free to get a hold of us. And anything else you want to say?
All I'll say is get ready and stay ready.
There you go. So with that, we will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.
Have a good one.